What's up, guys? Welcome to the NiNe Show.
Where would this take them? Where is this current feeling or value set going to take them in the future?
Like
Yeah.
opposites. Like you're going that way, I'm going this way.
I mean this very literally. There's no emotion. And how I did that, for me, it's just pure efficacy of recall.
I got sometimes like, oh, I have to human. I think that's the NI as opposed to NE that just wants to see it in its totality, right?
Common point of what was that word you used, Odom?
What? What the? Yo, what
Eddie.
the fuck? Okay, go on, go. Let's
Dude, I
go.
got a friend. I will chew you.
Alright.
Hello?
I'm back.
Yes!
Hey,
We got him,
look
boys.
at that t-shirt.
Yes.
Look at that t-shirt.
Hey, man.
We are
What's up?
recording.
No,
Yo. How's it going, man?
we haven't.
Pretty good. I'm actually having a hard time hearing. Let me get headphones.
Yeah, no
Sweet.
problem. All right, hype. We can get started.
Hey, Leo, you should change your name in Zoom.
Ooh.
Don't ask me how. No. I'll
So, do I refer to you as Whitney or Joe?
Whoa. Joe, I just heard that was the only thing I heard is
Okay.
asking that question. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
The audio just handed over to the headphones. And sometimes,
Yeah.
Now I got to figure out how to prop the phone because I had a plan and it failed. Because, just because.
Shit, me.
Oh, damn.
I have a new plan.
Yeah, I'm doing that on purpose.
Poo poo. Why are you called poo poo?
Oh, fuck you. Who did that?
Oh my god, got him. That was good. Was that you, Jono?
Yeah, I can rename people.
You bitch.
Fuck
Alright.
Fucking Leon.
That was my nickname in high school, so just call me that, I guess.
All
For real?
Victory.
Was it an
Yeah.
adjective?
Yeah, he's
or-
a good man.
with an extra space in the vent. on.
Okay, do we have to mention the meetup with me and Asees that Joe had?
Yeah, set up a question that like.
I don't know if he wants
relates
to
that.
relive traumatic experiences.
Fuck it. Hey, fuck it. I don't care.
There was sushi involved. It was all good.
Ah, cool. All right. So, Leon, do you want to host this?
Sure. Yeah, I will. Hold on. Let me just type that one question right quick.
Check it right quick.
Oh. I don't need that anymore. Aha.
Okay. So,
Check it. I made an awesome cheat sheet. Can't really speak.
Ooh.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we can see that. That's cool.
Systems. What is that?
So those are our types. Did you write our types down, or was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
cool.
all
nice.
four of us.
You drew them.
All five of
That's
us.
cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Man.
But I found some cool stuff. Like Asees has some like super powered consume. Like nobody's business.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Double masculine lead consume.
Double masculine, NT, and double activated consume.
Yeah,
He's basically
yeah,
a
it's annoying,
robot.
huh?
yeah, man.
That's crazy. And then Manny has double feminine blast. NF
Yeah.
double feminine blast.
Yeah. You couldn't get any more disregarded of a blast.
All right. Are we going to start now?
Yeah. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the NiNe Show. Today in the land of chaos, we have a special guest, my type twin, Joe. What's up, Joe?
What's up, guys?
Hey,
It's
Joe.
a sexy shirt you got there, man.
Nice shirt, man.
Thank you.
Where'd you get it?
Some asshole gave it to me.
He must have been an INTJ, huh?
Did you technically just call yourself an asshole?
Technically.
Kinda, yeah, kinda.
Technically.
Well, we're supposed to be aware of our own assholery, right? With the whole
Very
double
true.
divided thing.
Yeah, that's self-growth right there.
Man.
I didn't say I actually was aware of it. I just we're supposed to be.
All right. So we got some questions. We're going to get to know you, and the audience is going to get to know you pretty well right now. So we're going to ask you just some basic questions and then ask you a little bit more personal questions. The first one is, what is your type for the audience? Though I said it, they might not know.
I am double masculine, NIFI, sleep, blast play, consume.
Double masculine?
Yeah. Double masculine.
That's my favorite type.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Are you also up yourself as well?
I'm sorry?
Are you also a bit up yourself? Jokes.
All right. So we'll do a quick rundown of how did you get into typology and what did you type yourself as in OP?
Okay, about 5 months ago, there was a video on YouTube that popped up. My stream said, "Are you the rarest INFJ type?" And I said, "Nah." So I took the test, and I'd heard about Jung from college and stuff, but I didn't take a class or anything. I never really even took a test before. It came up INFJ, and that was interesting. I started going down the rabbit hole, and I found C.S. Joseph, who was, in my opinion, more detailed than everybody else. So I started going down that rabbit hole, learned all of his stuff, started practicing typing, realized how freaking hard it is. And then right about then in a chat room, somebody had pointed out that I had drank the C.S. Joseph Kool-Aid. And I probably shouldn't do that. And
Yeah.
I should not dissing C.S. Joseph at all, really, just saying that I need to explore other avenues, which is something I'm not good with. I pick a guru and I go down that rabbit hole until it ends.
The rabbit got shot, huh?
Yeah. So anyway, my buddy sent me looking after some other people. I had already seen Megan Lavoda, but I went into her a little bit more, and then just randomly found Dave that way, just going through YouTube, and I couldn't even tell the difference from his old videos and his new videos. Just going in and watching whatever, and then finally figured out what was going on, joined the class as after, I just joined the class and then got typed for my birthday. And that was how that happened.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was when you said you got INFJ, that's actually like probably as close as you could get to your type, like
NF?
within
Yeah,
MBTI, because it's like
IJ, NF.
So my guest type, my guest type after learning the superpower system was NITI, but I had different animal stack though.
Right. Was it like sleep, blast, consume or something? Or
I think it was sleep, consume, blast.
Right. Damn.
That
like
was
the
my
most
guess.
introverted. Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess you were just super
because-
aware of your sleep world.
Oh,
so you
God.
yeah, accommodated.
But only in the energy way. Like in the processing information, I'm super unconscious about that. I still have a hard time seeing it. I know it's there. Like there's some weird shit that happens. Like I know, I don't really know. I'm not fluent, but I know sign language, and I have.
Oh, wow.
When you're practicing, you just finger spell everything that you're saying, and it becomes a habit. So, and then you have to get rid of the habit, and I never got rid of the habit. So I'll randomly, you'll see my fingers wiggling, and I'm finger spelling with letters, just spelling out everything that I'm saying or that you're saying, and it's unconscious. But sometimes it'll get stuck in a loop, like the last thing that was sick. Because you know how you'll be driving in the car and nothing there's no sound at all. The last thing that I heard I'll look down and notice that I've been spelling it over and over and over.
Wow, bro, that's scary. That is pretty
What?
like,
Which
fuck.
is kind of sleep like. Yeah, it's a little bit of sleep.
Yeah. I relate to the finger writing thing. Like if I'm trying to like study, I do that.
Do you count on your fingers sometimes?
Sometimes, so yeah.
I
I
still
do
do
that as
that.
well.
I do it
count on my
just to double
fingers.
check.
I do it, and then sometimes I realize like I do it, but it doesn't. I'm not actually counting. I'm pretending to count. So someone will be like, "Hey,
Just
how much is it?" I'm
looking-
just like, "Yeah, it's 20."
looking
With one hand.
All right. So it's really interesting. So we actually met in person. So when you met me as a type twin and Asees as a more introverted type, let's just get your thoughts on that and be nice. No, I'm just kidding.
Be nice.
No, don't be nice.
Well, for one, Asees is super tall, and you would never see that coming.
Yeah.
And then for two, Leon is super buff, and you saw that coming because he shows it off all the time. Peacock.
Yeah.
Very peacocky with the SC. And then we got, I mean, really, the most striking thing was just how much we interrupted each other and made fun of each other, which is that was the clear thing we were both doing. Was
Pure energy
not listening,
dominance. Yeah.
not listening to the other asshole, just talking right over.
Just listening to our own asshole.
Yeah, we're talking. Yeah, we're talking in our own heads while they're talking, not listening to anything they're saying, and then in the middle of their sentence, I'll turn to Asees and say something completely unrelated to what Leon was just talking about, and then Leon will do the same thing to me, or the same thing to us. It's just funny.
And then we end up on the same subject in the beginning after all the tangents, and we're like, I don't even know where we were, and we just kept doing it.
Oh, that's too good, man. That's like pinging.
It's a little non-blasty because we're not doing beginning, middle, end, sum up sort of thing. We're just
It's like play. It's all in play.
Yeah,
it's
very
like
play.
It's like SE kind of.
Well, we're all play third as well. All of us here today.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
I
play
was
third
ask
gang.
Asees something, but I guess he went somewhere. Asees, do you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, we were just gonna get your input on meeting two of the same of your favorite type.
It was weird. It was like I was sitting next to Leon, but like when Joe would speak, like it was hard to like they had the same vibe, like when they spoke. Like they were, and I noticed that like the way that they like structured their sentences, the way that they like their cadence, their and what they talked about, well, even though that's a bit more on the subjective side for the individuals, it was still basically the same. And I just like, it's so weird to like know about type and like to go from MBTI to OP, like that's cool. But then like to see like people of the same type literally act the same is just like,
blows your mind.
You know? Yeah.
Well, I think it was definitely the activated play kicking in. But we have ST play, and we're both in F, which is
it's a double masculine animal.
Go up.
Yeah, a couple things is like one when we were talking. So these the waitresses kept like interrupting us, and we were like just in the middle of all our energy, like being all like pushy and punching and making fun of each other. And we would say something ridiculous as they were coming in. Excuse me, do you want some of that? And then we'd be like, because we were so energetic. And then you were getting up, and the lady's like, "Can you take my plate?" And you, or can I take your plate? And then you're like, "Don't take my chopsticks!" And you slam the chopsticks down. I don't know if you remember that, but that was hilarious.
That bitch. No, I don't remember.
Stop interrupting me. I'm interrupting somebody else right now. Yeah. And I also remember we were doing kicks outside, like doing Taekwondo kicks and Muay Thai kicks and
kicks
stuff.
in the face. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just move on, even though that was super fun. We got to get through these questions. Can you explain like what it's like being a you're a piano teacher. How long have you been doing it? How did you get into that? And how does your type affect your teaching style with your students?
Okay, these are going to be hard questions. All right, but as far as piano itself, piano was a puzzle that appeared in my life whenever I was in church as a little kid. And
A puzzle?
I looked up on the stage. Yeah, I looked up on stage, and there was a guy hitting 10 keys at a time, and it all sounded awesome. He was doing it over and over and over and over again for like an hour. And that was fascinating because I had a piano at home. My sister was taking lessons, and I hit 10 keys, and it sounded terrible. And the question in my head was, how the hell does he do? How does he do that? So I went up on, not during church, but like after, I would go up on stage and pester him with questions. And he ended up giving me some papers to help, just basic theory. And my mom put me in lessons after. It was a cycle. My sister got lessons, and then my mom got lessons, and I got lessons, just because I showed interest. And then I just never quit. And I went through to high school, never practicing, got to college, got my butt kicked in college, and then got my degree. And then I took 2 years off from piano because how are you going to make a living at piano? It was just sort of an assumption that you couldn't, but I made that assumption and was trying to move on with life, but I didn't really have any direction. But during college, I figured out that I liked to tutor. I was tutoring people in French and some other classes, and I went. About 2 years in, I was selling life insurance, and one of my clients asked me to teach her niece, and I was resistant, didn't want to do it because I didn't want to be a teacher, and because they don't make any money, and I didn't want to have two jobs at the time. I just wanted to sell. But 6 months in, she finally taught me into it, and I started teaching her. I taught her for 6 months, and then she quit, and then I started teaching another kid, and it just was addicting. It just kind of, it's very rewarding. It was feeding the need of give very much, and then it also naturally, it's a goal. You have to teach something, you have to relearn it basically to know the fundamentals better than you used to, and so it was growing as well. So I was hitting the 5th and 6th human need pretty hard, and it was very rewarding. And life insurance sales was not. And I had like a final lesson on that, where I had sold a policy to my wife's at the time's grandma, and she was in perfect health, very cheap policy, and then she passed away really quickly, about a year after I sold her the policy, from cancer. And the whole idea of life insurance is that you're helping these people, and that you're going to feel it whenever you both sell and then give out the money at the end of the cycle. But that's where you get the reward for doing the job. And I didn't get any reward from it at all. And so the contrast was obvious. So I just decided to just go ahead and teach piano. I was just resigning to a life of poverty. But then I finally did the math, and it turns out you can actually make a lot of money. I mean, not like a ton, but you can make good money. There's a lady in Houston who just did the business side of it. Most piano teachers just don't understand business at all. And this girl did the research on people in Houston, figured out that was the best market in the country, went there, invested in a grand piano, set up the marketplace, and made like $100,000 on her first year. I don't know any other piano teachers that's ever done that. And I certainly didn't. But the point is, the math is there. You can figure this thing out. So it's
that's awesome.
So I resigned myself to that. Started teaching in 2008, and I didn't make anywhere near 100,000 my first year. I had like probably up to like 12 students my whole first year, something like that. But then, I mean, it's a love now. Teaching is passion for me, for sure. And I got lucky that it's both. Well, I say lucky. I guess that was part of the reason I fell into it, but that it's both give and grow involved in that.
So you figured out the ST, and you get to do your NF that you want. Like, figure out that puzzle. ST. Yeah. Good thing you did, man. Good for you.
That's
awesome. For real. Feels good.
have Odin give a question or John.
Yeah.
Actually, you already asked me another question I didn't even touch on. Right? What was the second half of that first question?
Oh,
It was, how did you get into piano, and how does type affect your teaching?
Damn.
The
look at
answer
that
is
memory.
blast. I'm a freaking blast. Right. I do not have a good memory. It just looks like it sometimes.
I don't know how you remembered that question exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the masculine SE pops up when I don't expect it, but when I need it, it's
So
nowhere.
she said, "Oh yeah."
Yeah. Where was I? Okay, so we are blasting. We're blasting. We're teaching and blasting all
how
day.
does it affect your teaching style?
I overblast, right? I'll have the students. I've made the point. I made the point 5 minutes ago. But I've made the point 6 more times after that. That's the most
Can you explain that
obvious
again?
way that it shows. Well, I'm blast savior, right? So I'm gonna say this point like 7 more times now that he's asking me to say it again. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's an interesting insight. Yeah. Very self-aware.
Yeah.
Well, this is, I assume, the sleep that I'm unaware of, letting me get insight, because I don't know that I know these. But it's yeah.
Alrighty.
Nice.
Cool. So
right, Odin?
I guess we're moving on.
Yeah.
Odin.
Yeah, cool. So Leon has mentioned to me how for him it's possible for him to leverage his FI to work on SE stuff, like finding the value in that can kind of get you through the stress of SE. So could you say whether you relate to that, or like could you explain, how that relates to you?
Yeah, 100%. Whenever okay, so I got married in 2012, in 2012, and I had we dated about a year before that. And when we first met, I found out that Jennifer likes guys who could fix things.
Right.
And you're talking about a guy who was living in a trailer where there was a huge hole in the wall, carpet had been ripped up, the sliding door to the closet was completely off hinge. I don't think they even had seats on that bed at that time. Like the sensory was irrelevant.
Yeah.
All of my life was focused around the jobs that I was working. At that point, I was working 2 jobs, sometimes 3.
Yeah.
Because I'm basically supporting my piano teacher habit at that point.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that part. Anyway, the house was destroyed, and then I find out that this girl likes it when a guy fixes stuff. So before you know it, like I'm fixing up the house, and like the closet wall got fixed, the bed got fixed up. I worked on the floor, didn't quite get it finished. But like I just boom, it's this whole, oh yeah, I can get on board with that. It's the sleep last play.
Yeah.
I figure out what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna blast play it. And
yeah, like when you're aligned with it, it's like
yeah.
So if the FI kicks in on something and lines up with the NIFI sleep kicks in, then the blast play kicks in afterwards.
Wow.
And just runs it home, which is probably our superpower. Like I would say it's probably our most significant superpower. If I have a plan, I will execute the shit out of that plan.
Yeah. Wow, that's dope. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
That's cool, man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Jono, you had another question, right?
Yeah. So my question is more about the ST side, the play animal. It's your double masculine functions. It's your double masculine animal. Can you tell us about it? Like, tell us how you experience play. Tell us, like, so there's a theory about, like, your double masculine animals is kind of like what you gravitate towards the most in, times of stress or when you need to react to something.
Or you're more aware of it.
Yeah.
Well, I think a couple points on this. One, before I forget, is the Hulk syndrome, and 2 would be the sleep first. So I don't play unless I fucking have to. Like, just if I'm not gonna get out of bed until I have to. You guys drag me out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning for this.
Nice.
Y'all are, that's like strike one against y'all right away. I'm having to get out of bed.
Damn.
But then I'll just relax around the house all day until either the plan kicks in, or I have to do something, or it gets really close to the end of the day and I have all this pent up energy that I've been just saving all day, and it's time to play it out, which would be at like 8 o'clock at night. But the things where it happens, like it's happening in the blast play. Like if I have when I actually move past the sleep into blast play, I can play as long as I need to until I run out of energy, of course. But it's like I'll be playing with family, like with Leon. We were in the parking lot wrestling after the.
And I won. No,
with my nieces. Yeah, we stopped because we saw the police.
Yeah, dude, there was some police coming by and some black lady, and she's like, "Oh, y'all teaching a seminar?" And I'm like, what? "No, don't look at us."
But like,
so you guys love moving. You love moving, right?
Yeah, and physical push, pull, attack,
moving
fight,
each other,
play, but also like gymnastic stuff, the cartwheels, the taekwondo was big. For just the kick, jumping, kicking, and all of this, just moving around and punching and pushing things. But then the Hulk syndrome comes back in, which is the play. This is kind of weird. This is actually, in my personality, the scariest thing to me. It's the Hulk, because these are two demons that are both masculine. They're ST. They're both like little kid, underdeveloped, ragey functions, and they're double masculine. Yeah, it's that thing where I'm like the nicest guy in the world until suddenly I'm hitting a wall or something. Like,
yeah, and we listen to our FI if we're in a bad spot, like where we're stuck in our saviors, and all of a sudden we have to use our demons. If we don't really push the FI down and try to look at things logically, we just vent our feelings straight up.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you?
And then the thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, I don't know what I was going to say. Keep going.
Well, I didn't see my double masculine play until Leon pointed it out to me. Actually, it was, like whenever I'm interacting with people, like I'll touch them on the arm or on the back, things like just physical interaction all the time. That's all I was going to say.
Has it got you into trouble, like pushing on the tribe, hammering facts on the tribe? That's the plain definition of double masculine ST. Do you feel like
that again?
Do you feel like your double masculine ST-ness has like gotten you into trouble at all? Like, you know, trying to be very shovey on people, or?
Not near as much as just my TE being masculine and pushing on the tribe that way. But I suppose, yeah, because it gets. I just see it as the masculine TE pushy whenever I'm getting in trouble with the tribe. Like I'll say, like again, I feel like this nice guy. My inner world is double feminine. And then I typed myself as, I forgot to mention that. I typed myself as double feminine INFJ jumper whenever I was self-typing, because my whole world is double feminine. And then whenever I got typed as double masculine, and that was a shock. But then realizing it was the demons that were double masculine made sense. And the getting into trouble part is just because that TE is just kind of childlike and ragey sometimes.
Yeah.
And I can't see it, but I can see it in Leon.
Yeah, I knew for a fact that I was double masculine for a fact. Like, I always thought I was so feminine and I wanted to be more masculine, but the more masculine I was with somebody else, the more they hated me.
Like it'd come out like full blown.
Yeah, but my dad's like the ST version of my type, and so I saw it in him all the time. So I grew up, was like, yeah, that's okay to just be super pushy with everybody. And you know, didn't work.
Yeah. I don't know if I answered the question, but there you go.
No, yeah, you did. You like,
yeah. We're gonna do one more real quick for Asees.
All right, Joe.
Yes.
Joe. I thought his name's Whitney. What?
It is.
Observer freak out.
Wait, is it Joe as well?
My full name is Whitney Joseph Nakam III.
Wow, the third. Are you like royalty?
Sure.
Nice. That's cool.
No, it's a little funny story with that because whenever I went to college, my second year, I was a sophomore. My roommate was a freshman, so he showed up early, like a week early, and he had been in the room. And the label on the door for my name tag said Whitney Joseph Nakam III. And I was like, oh, is this some like crazy European guy or something? Crazy guy? And then, but underneath it was in quotes Juggalin Joe, and he's like, what is this, like a clown too?
Yeah, that's
the European jester.
Yeah, so exactly. So he when I showed up, it was like a week later. He was like taking a nap on the bed. I walked into the room while he was sleeping and was just like looking at him because I hadn't figured out. I was doing like an INFJ thing, like what's going on here. And then he woke up, looked up, and some creepy guy was standing over his bed staring at him, and he jumped like foot out of the bed. It was really funny. It was a nice meeting story. And then he finally got to figure out who I am.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah.
All right, let's get serious.
Countdown. Do a countdown, and Asees, you can ask your question.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, Jitney. So, looking back, did you ever understand some of your parts or recurring tidal waves before OP? And how has OP better articulated them for you? Also, are you typist?
Consuming whatever you're saying after you said Jitney.
Oh, that's gold.
Oh god. Said it so casually as well, like no pause, like oh man.
You have to do it like that, man.
Asees, you're giving him too much chaos to turn the
No, this is consumed last. I just stopped listening once I get something stuck in my head. No, I heard something about tidal waves before OPS.
Yeah. So looking back, did you ever understand some of your parts or recurring tidal waves before OP? And how has OP better articulated them for you? Also, are you typist like Leon?
Am I typist? As
Are you
some
typist?
types are better than others, or some types are stupid?
Yeah.
As a DI, in fact, as one of 5 DIs sitting here currently, probably a little bit, yeah. But I couldn't say against which type. I probably would,
Just wait till you hear my question.
Okay. All right, but let's go back to tidal waves. Okay, so I knew. I mean, I didn't call them tidal waves, but I knew that there were certain times in my life where my world collapsed. There was one. Okay, before OPS, I've had some of these after, right? But before OPS, there was a ticket. I got a speeding ticket, and my finances weren't in the best situation at the time, and I didn't think I was going to be able to pay. I thought it was going to destroy me. So I went just that little, like, I don't know, $200 or whatever the ticket was. And it was, I just, like, right after the cop left, I just sat on the side of the road crying. And I ended up calling a counselor and getting financial counseling and other kinds of and I kept calling into that for months after. It just felt like my whole world had collapsed, and it was all over a speeding ticket. And I was a little confused about that one. I got to call Dave on the phone again for my birthday, and I was asking him about it because I couldn't figure out where it fit in the tidal waves, and he was his idea was that it was the FI. My FI has built up an image of who I am, and I've got this idea that I'm this goody two shoes guy. I never do anything wrong, and I'm always trying my best to do the right thing. So when some officer of authority guy walks up and like treating me like trash on the side of the road kind of guy, I just sort of fell apart. But that's happened several times, almost exactly like that, where somebody or something will sort of attack my image of myself, and I'll just have complete mental breakdown. Can't function for days.
Dude,
Wow.
Dave punched my
Wow.
FI the first second we met. It was funny.
What happened? What did he say?
So he went up to my girlfriend. He sat next to me and says, "So does Leon cry like a little bitch when he doesn't get his way?" And he like grabbed my neck, and I'm like, and then I laughed, and I was like, "Wait, you did that on purpose?" We started.
Whoa, he's such a manipulator. He knows how to. He knows how to.
That's
pull
so
the strings.
good. That is
Yeah,
so good, man.
But yeah, I've got speeding tickets, and I was just like adrenaline, like, oh my God, do I hit the cop? Do I run away? What do? Do I sit here? I'm gonna put my Bible out from the like inside my console and put it on my chair and see what happens. And the guy saw the Bible, and he changed my speeding ticket from 84 to 70, and it didn't really make a difference, but I guess he was kind of trying to help me. I don't know. But I shouldn't have been speeding.
But like after OPS, I was trying to do some self reflection, some sleep, and I went over. I basically dug through my own history in my head for every instance of a tidal wave I could think of, and I came up with like a list, like a page long, just of the ones I could remember. Which is there's your masculine ST, which I didn't think I had. But it was a lot of them were change, resistance to change sort of thing. Like I would just freak out if you mostly the plan. If there's a plan in place and I'm trying to blast play this plan, and you just walk up and just smack the plan across the face and decide we're doing something different, I will throw my Hulk play at you. Not taking it, laying down anyway. And then change in general with. Just sort of like I came home when I was a little kid and my mom had bought a new couch. Freaked out over that. Just change. I'm getting better about that.
Interesting.
But the whole list seems to revolve around those two things. There's probably more. I don't have the list in front of me, and I can't remember off the top of my head anything else.
Were there any particular epithets that you remember that people would call you? Oh, you're controlling, or like were there any like terms that people like recurringly use that you remember?
Or like jitney.
Like for me, some of it are like dick, douche, masculine TI ones,
I didn't get the a-hole DI ones very much. I've mostly got good comments from friends who are trying to stay my friend. Like not very judgy ones, but then I mean, can't think of any off the top of my head now.
Okay.
Not really.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I was just wondering.
Guess you grew up. You grew up in Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's just part of it. Maybe people are nicer there.
Nah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
California
say that,
is
yeah.
relentless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're talking about a guy like in high school. All I did in high school during the month was juggle in the courtyard, and that was very strange. Like there was definitely an oddity to me, but people they just ignored. They were in their own group. They weren't talking to me. I had my friends, and my friends were all my friends, and weren't. Like I didn't get the jab. Mostly, I just got friendly jabs that didn't really.
So tell us a little bit about we both grew up in church. Let's just talk about that a little bit, like how it started and then where you're at in life now. Because I've been in church my whole life, and I don't think I'll ever leave. I'm gonna be a pastor as soon as I clean up my mouth.
And your video editing.
It's not gonna happen.
So I was born into Pentecost, and I was raised in Pentecost my whole life up until midway through college. So it was just my life. I turned down girls because they weren't Pentecostal, like I was just always following the rules, just trying to be the best Pentecostal I could be, like out in the world and behaving, not swearing like some people. No, I was straight up goody two shoes. I didn't even know my double masculine was a thing. I was just living my little double feminine world, in my head. I was all in my head the whole time, trying to be saved, trying not to go to hell. That was the goal. And then, midway through college, life was got real with meeting my first wife in college, in my junior year, and the living circumstances, having to actually pay for your house, and have a job. It was pretty shallow reason to fall out of the church, I suppose. But I basically started sleeping with the preacher's daughter, and that was my girlfriend. And we were all in this one house in the same room, just out of necessity. That's just where I lived. And then we ended up being a couple, and I couldn't resolve the life of sin I was in with the idea that I was Pentecostal, and just decided to be who I was. So left the church mid-college, got out into the real world, and lived a life of chaos for a while. Got my first divorce, my only divorce. And what my wife heard that. And it was that was very hard. That was probably the hardest part of my entire life, was my divorce. I was basically curled up in a ball at my mom's house for 2 weeks. But it was just straight up, I'm going to job, coming home, eating, sleeping, in my head with whatever book I'm reading at the time. Most of my NF is in fantasy reading, and just moving through life until I met Jennifer, and my whole world sort of perked up again, and I became like a real person again for a while there. Still am. Now my life is full again, as much as it was when I was a kid. And having 2 children does a lot for that. Being married with 2 kids and having a purpose in life with the piano teaching, and having a project to feed up. And I feel like a full person again. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That blast is so good. Like, you take us through everything.
Yeah, I was like,
it's very...
just hanging on the edge of my seat, just taking me through the journey. I was like,
yeah, it's really good.
You can feel that FI, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I love my life.
Beautiful.
I love my wife. I love my wife. Yeah.
Is she awake? Is she right there?
No, she just went to work.
Do you FI
Oh, I
love her?
see.
I'm sorry?
You FIT, you love her?
Fight.
I fight her, yes.
Nice.
Dude, that's so
That's
cool.
actually, that's a lesson I learned, though. Fighting is a big deal. Like, if you don't fight, my first wife, part of our problem was we never fought. We never addressed the conflict. So it just built and built. It destroyed our marriage. We just drifted apart. It destroyed it in a peaceful way, but it was, we were no longer in love. We were starting to fall for other people. Like, our worlds were separate entirely, just because we never confronted the issues that were in front of us. So now I fight my wife every chance I get.
That's the way, bro. Yeah, I fight everybody in my life too. It's totally normal. It means I love them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, guys? Right, guys?
Yeah. Right.
Exactly. Yeah, sure.
So Joe, you mentioned your kids, and so I was just wondering, how is sort of, you know, the major life experiences or events, you know, like marriage or fatherhood, let's say, how has that changed how you use your cognitive toolbox?
Let me make sure I understand the question. This is double feminine blast coming from Asees right now.
Got him.
Or is it just bad consume? Or is it just bad consume?
Combined with bad consume.
Yeah,
this is
like
worst case scenario.
Worst,
right now. Okay, I'm trying to understand the question. So, how has having kids affect? Can you rephrase?
Yeah. So, how have the major life experiences in your life, like, so let's say fatherhood, predominantly, how has that affected how you use your parts?
My functions and my animals?
Yep.
Yeah, anything, everything, whatever you've noticed.
I
Just
would
everything.
say, no, the biggest is definitely the SE, because oh my God, having a kid that first year of having a baby, especially one that doesn't sleep. Do any of y'all have kids? I don't even know.
Nah,
Nope.
I can't
I-
wait.
Anybody?
Sorry, bro.
Okay, well, allow me to disillusion you. You don't sleep for a year. You don't
I'm
sleep
dreading
for
that.
a year.
I'm dreading that.
And I am sleep first in every sense of the I need sleep. Sleep first, sleep. Give me goddamn sleep. And they are not letting me sleep. And so I can't function at all. But you have to function because the kid will die. Like,
Life or death.
you have to.
Just
You're
get a
like-
new kid that doesn't scream so much. Wake you up.
Right.
I'm
Like
just
a stuff,
kidding.
like a little doll or something. You hear that? No, it's extremely rewarding in the sense that no matter what type you are, you're going to have to engage all your functions to take care of the kid.
Yeah.
You're going to love the kid. You're going to have to foresee the future of what the kid is about. You have to walk through that house, find everything that might kill that kid. Electric sockets, thumbtack on the floor
So you need some
they're
SI
crawling, but they can't really, like, oh my God, the S,
or
the
NI.
N, the T, the F, everything. You have to put your life towards that kid for at least a year and then beyond, of course, right? It doesn't stop. The kid is less likely to just die in their sleep after, so long. Less likely. Still likely. It's like your fear, the fear is, how do I keep this kid from dying? Like, and that starts from the moment that you're having a kid, because in the belly there's not much they can do to protect it, and you just sort of freak out about that the whole time the baby's growing in the belly. Then the baby comes out and it's like, oh, now I can actually protect you, but now I have to actually protect you anyway. So I would say the demon SE was the biggest deal for sure, that I had to engage 100% of the time. Be present. You have to not be up in your head all the time.
Yeah.
And doing that without sleep. Yeah, not cool. But worth it, right? So the FI is way overpowering the fact that you don't want to use your SE at that point.
All right.
As far as being married, that for me is an exercise of getting out of my head and being present again with the wife. You just, it depends on who you marry, of course, because if you marry someone a lot like you, then you'll both happily be in your head. But I married an ST, and if I'm not present with her, it's noticeable.
yeah.
There's a repercussion there quickly. And for me to try to bring her into my NF world, there's a lot of resistance to that. And we both have to sort of find our commonalities across the spectrum and actively engage in keeping those active constantly.
Right.
Or just have a routine that makes sure that you're engaging in your commonalities. While also, this is actually an advantage of having opposites. You do need your own life. You need to be yourself in addition to being your married self. You'll have she'll have her, and you'll have the marriage couple, which is like a third unit, and you have to treat the marriage unit as like a baby that you take care of. And then there's a baby, and you have these all separate units that you're taking care of in your life. And if you don't, if any of them fall apart, then they all fall apart. And so you have to take care of all of them. So you have to take care of self and marriage. And taking care of self is easy. Taking care of, I say that, it can be a struggle, but taking care of the marriage is just foreign because you never had to do it before. Not in the sense where you're living together, you're interacting, using the same like bathroom, like doing everything together. It's a whole new world, and I wasn't good at it, and hope I'm getting better, but who knows?
Yeah.
Trust me, you're getting better.
So I think,
Yeah, I think we've all gotten better just like through the course of this interview. We've all improved ourselves.
I'll take credit for that. Yeah.
Odom has a question.
Yeah. So I'm gonna switch it up actually. So you've just talked about how marriage and having a kid has kind of forced you into doing everything. And I'm just wondering, this is for the viewers as well, because some viewers don't have kids or marriage. Do you have any tips or techniques on say typically your FI wants to do things its own way? Do you have any tips for just getting outside of how you feel and just doing what you need to do. Do you know what I mean? Like outside of external circumstances, do you know how
For
to like
myself,
direct
it,
yourself? Yeah.
well, no. For myself, I have the sleep last play thing going. I'm kind of cheating with the whole make a plan and then execute the plan thing.
Yeah.
That
True.
that's a big deal for me. It lets me overcome my FI. If I can FI want to watch this movie and to the exclusion of all else. Like I just want to watch UFC. This is
Yeah.
actually a big one. If I have plans to watch UFC for 2 months, I've been waiting for this fight, and then
Yeah.
turns out no, you actually have to take care of your marriage that day. That turns out to be a big deal. It's a problem. I don't want to let go of that UFC fight. I've been waiting for 2 months.
Yeah.
But it just comes down to awareness and consciousness of, okay, this isn't real. You really just you don't need to see that fight. You'll
Bro,
live.
I'll
It'll
send
be
you a
on
link.
YouTube later. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's the whole.
Is it a self-talk? You're kind of talking to yourself in the moment when you're like conflicted.
I think it's important to just sort of mourn the loss of the thing, let it go,
Right. Oh, that's cool.
and and then
Mourn the
move
loss.
forward.
That's
Yeah.
very FI. Like I wouldn't have ever thought of that. That's pretty cool. I have to like I have to argue with myself, but like that's yeah.
No, shoot it in the head and then mourn it. Yeah. And
Yeah.
no,
Wow.
it's not really shooting it in the head. But yeah, mourning seems to help me a lot, actually. Just like I wanted this thing, it's not gonna happen. That makes me really sad. Let's be sad for a minute. Take your 20 minutes, dwell in it, and then make a new plan. Like this is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. Because you have FI for the other thing too. Just sort of build up why I'm doing this other thing instead. It's important to keep this marriage afloat. It's way more important than a UFC fight. Like it just doesn't seem clear in the moment. But once you get past the moment and you can put things in perspective,
wife comes in.
But it comes down to that consciousness thing, because if you're not thinking of it in terms of my marriage is more important than a UFC fight, then you're fucked. You're gonna fight. You're gonna fight her tooth and nail. Like, no, I don't want to take care of you. I want to do this thing for me.
If we're not watching UFC on TV, we're having a UFC fight right now.
That's so funny. That's really good advice, man. Because like even for me, so throughout life, usually my strategy is just to argue with myself in my head about what I should do. But that doesn't mean like I win the argument. Sometimes I do what I'm not supposed to.
Well, you have this masculine TI going against you, where if you were actually set on it, it's gonna be a lot harder for you to change that thing. I'm sitting on a feminine FI, where I can change my mind at a whim.
Yeah,
I just have to figure out how, and then it's done.
The funny thing is, I found what helps like the most with getting on board with something I know is more important is just like you said, just trying to understand how I feel and then just letting myself feel badly about it, and then I just kind of get over it. So it's weird, but like bringing in the F does help, does make it easier for me. So
we got a guy with a question with his hand raised. We should give him a chance.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Joe, what type annoys you the most?
Probably people like,
this is a fun question because
I want names. Give us names.
Rip them.
I would say, well, okay, this is. I'm glad you asked that question because me and Leon have this TE. It's masculine. It's double activated. It's second function, so it's like bigger than the FI in that sense, and it's this double activated superpowered TE demon that we're super aware of. So this whole double deciding thing is effortless in my perspective. Now, me and Leon were hanging out. He was expressing hatred for people, and I was like, "Why are you doing that?" Because like I know you don't. You could easily choose not to. You could just see their perspective, and in a second, you could see why they do what they do. And then
that's so cool.
Just double decide on it. And so this was actually a problem in life, was the people around me not double deciding.
Yeah.
And then I go masculine TE demon on them and just like, screw you. Why are you not double deciding? This is obvious. You
Yeah.
had a reason
Yes.
to do that thing. Why aren't you giving her leeway? Why are
I
you
need
calling
to
her?
clarify.
Yeah. Go
I just
ahead.
want to
Go ahead.
clarify. I was expressing hatred for what they do, and I just gave their names and I was venting it, and then after you gave your opinion, I was like, oh yeah, I'm being an ass. I should stop.
Yeah.
So you hate
No,
deciders.
I apologize. I'm just doing everything I can to make Leon look unchristian on TV here.
That's okay because I don't need to try even hard to let you to do the same to you.
Yeah. I just feel like the double sider is very powerful, and then I'll push on other people with the masculine TE when I see them not doing it.
Yeah.
So for me to say the most annoying type, I can see annoyances and then overcome them instantly, and I just can't bring myself to. I just can't. Like, everybody has their value, and I can't say that
Good answer.
you're less worth. Yeah.
Good answer.
But I mean, I could also like just throw a type out there just to be mean to some random type.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
No.
Okay, let's talk about
what's your type
things.
again?
What thing
about-
pisses you off the most? What's something that pisses you off?
That a type may or may not do.
Yeah, chaos. For me, it's whatever's interrupting my current thought process. So I am currently OPSing all the time, trying to figure, like, someone starts talking to me and I immediately stop listening to what they're saying to try to type them. And I'm in my NF head, not wanting to deal with any SE around me. So it doesn't matter what SE comes in, I get pissed at it. It's like I was on a train of thought, and now I've lost my train of thought, and I can't find it again. And it's your fault, and now I'm pissed at you. Whatever that thing is.
Just like getting on Zoom this morning.
Yeah, it was annoying. I didn't know
okay.
we were actually going to
It's
get it
about
to
20
work.
minutes, I think. 20 minutes was the
Yeah.
counter that I had here.
Chaos. But I didn't feel pissed at it. I feel like I more just take my vengeance out on things than
Right.
get pissed at. Like it's like I'll get pissed because someone says something. Like, a person will piss me off if they attack my FI image of myself, I guess, and then I'll take it out by kicking the wall or something. Or I don't actually kick walls. Honestly, I can't even remember ever hitting or kicking a wall. I do just like things on the ground, or like,
Yeah,
I
sure.
used to kick a board when I was a kid, but I definitely
Yeah.
want to punch something. I don't know that I don't feel like I've
I
answered
broke
the
a
question.
urinal trying to hit somebody that moved out of the way in the bathroom.
Bro,
Urinal?
how was your
Holy
Shout
crap.
out, his name's Gerardo. I still remember.
you calling him out as
Gerardo.
well?
Yeah, I'll meet you in an alleyway. No, I'm just kidding.
What if he's
No,
watching? What if Gerardo's
just
watching
kids.
this video? You should
We
say
were
sorry
just
to him.
kids. Yo, my pinky got all swollen and broken for the 6th time. Looked like Mickey
Ah.
Mouse hands with purple, but yeah.
Do you want to say sorry to Gerardo on camera?
I still remember your birthday. I'm gonna give you a birthday present, bro. I'll just text you on Instagram or something, if you want, or put it in the comments.
An FE call out.
I'll give you some
I'm-
gloves.
As soon as this thing is over, I'm gonna think of something that really pisses me off.
Probably.
I'm gonna blame the demon SD right now.
You got 8 minutes.
It's not happening. Things definitely do things piss me off. I just can't think of an SI example.
That could be one that you can't think of examples.
Does that piss you off?
Not remembering things. Yeah, that's a problem. But as far as it pissing me off, yeah, I guess you could say that. Like I said earlier, like masculine SE works when I don't need it to, but then when I need it to work, it's just not there. I was at some sort of office, the dentist office, and someone called me up and they're like, "Hey, I need this information," and I had to pull it out of the top of my head, and I couldn't. I just couldn't. And it's like a word that I say all the time, and I just couldn't pull it up, and needed to be able to and couldn't do it. That did make me mad, because at that moment I understood that I had MSE at the time, and it was pissing me off that stupid masculine SE is supposed to be able to remember something was letting me down. But I don't know.
Do you find that like your because it's funny, like Leon says his memory is good, and you're more like, you know, it's not actually that good, but it works when it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Do you find that it's like for
Which
me
is-
as well, I don't, it's not necessarily like my memory is good, it's just that when it comes, it's like really accurate. So it's like the quality of it is really good. It's just it's not always there. So do you find that it's your memory is very associative? So it's like if something triggers your memory, everything will just come back. Like the entire situation will come back. But like
Well, okay, so when I was a couple of things on that. One, Bible quizzing. Two is responsibility. I had a third one, but I already lost it. So Bible quizzing. When I was a teenager in church, we had to memorize like 500 verses and be able to answer questions on them, quiz bowl style. Cross-reference. What verse ends with this word? What two verses contain this word? Or Jesus says blah 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 blah, and then what in this verse? Like just random questions from all over the place out of 500 verses. Every year, getting a new set of 500. I never made it to 500. I made it to about 250. But if you ask me a question on those verses, I got pretty good with it. But it was a memory tactic. It was read it 5 times, say it 5 times, read it 5 times, say it 5 times, read it and say it. And then go into the next verse, and you're memorizing 5 verses a day, or 3 to 5 verses a day, and then reviewing the previous verses, previous day's verses. That was my original memory technique, and it worked fairly good. And I translated it over to piano, learning how memorizing certain sections of a piece of music, or just practicing that section. That was my memory development from childhood. But then I got interested in actual memory techniques, memory palaces, associations. You can take numbers and turn them into pictures to remember long strings of numbers. And
wait, just to say something, like you clearly, I mean, the masculine sensory is so obvious. Like you clearly really care about memory. Like, but yeah, go on.
That's where the responsibility comes in. I will hear things and I will think, and I will actually think, I don't need to know that. Like that's not important.
Yeah.
And so I won't go through the action of imprinting it on my memory. Where Benjamin actually interviewed some guy who did a lot of research on memory, talking about memory being a process. So you actually have to process the thing you want to remember.
Yeah.
I would identify with that big time. If you take the time to process it, it'll lock in better. But even then, sometimes you try to remember something and it'll slip.
It's true.
But I mean, that's everybody.
That's everyone.
Like masculine SE first. It's still going to be a problem.
Yeah.
All right.
But responsibility for sure. So like all these facts, like I just don't give any F I shit about, like songs.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of any musical artist that I could.
You don't care.
Until I met my wife, who is very interested in musical artist names and their gossip and the different.
Does she have SI?
Around them.
It's probably the mainstream ones, dude. The Demon SF and us doesn't care.
I have her as FESI. Yeah. Can you have what, baby? We're getting interrupted with SE here.
Hey, that's totally fine. We're actually going to wrap up right now.
Okay.
It was super cool having you on, Joe.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thanks, Whitney.
Thanks for all the information.
Dope.
Good time.
Thank y'all.
Nice shirts. Everybody hit us up for a shirt if you want. Let me just sign out. Everybody do the gang sign. Joe, you're going to put 4 fingers up here and then 5 fingers out there. This is the NiNe Show gang sign. Asees, quit being an EP and do the gang sign.
They can't see me. Stop.
Thanks, man. NiNe Show out. See you in the land of chaos next time.
No one else can see it because it's a gallery view.
Oh man.
I'm out.
Dude, do that again for real. That was hilarious.
What? Whose dick was that in that video that you put for Asees' birthday? Was that Asees' dick on the video?
Yeah,
Wait,
he was
I
just
thought you
taking a
cut that
piss.
out though.
I didn't show my dick. I was just pissing.
Yeah, he was,
Damn.
and I just added the eggplant.
He added the
to make it-
eggplant.
Damn.
And it was
Yeah.
like it looked like it was covering it up.
Damn, I masturbated
that
for no
was-
reason.
It was very unchristian of you,
Yo,
Leon.
imagine-
Very unchristian.
Say
I could have done like something else. I don't know.
it, Asees. Say
Yeah.
it.
Could have done a corn or like a.
Just double
Banana.
masculine blast. What?
It's not my fault if the consume less don't hear me. I
But
don't.
Yes,
no,
it
exactly
is.
right.
You fucking
The
Your,
thing-
your audio is actually quite soft as well, which is
yeah,
not
yeah,
helping you.
it doesn't help. Yeah, it
Asees.
doesn't help that your audio is like really
Oh,
quiet.
Yeah, there was the delay. But Asees,
Wait, is this better?
No,
Exactly.
it's like it's like just really quiet.
Can we do the whole interview again, please?
The whole what?
The whole
interview
The whole interview again.
No, that's
That's actually
now it sounds
worse.
like you're talking into a can, or like you're on radio or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's better, okay?
This
no,
meeting is
it's worse.
this meeting is about to
Like you're on a
abruptly
fight.
end.
Sounds like you're on a
Hey,
fighter jet, like up in the sky,
Asees.
trying to talk to us.
This
Asees, when
meeting
we
will
were talking
end
back
abruptly.
at the sushi restaurant. I got super respect for you, man. Your intellect is fantastic. I was very impressed with you as a person and as an intellect. I've yet to see any of these other assholes to prove themselves, but I'm very impressed with you. Yeah.
We need to
I'm
meet
kidding.
up.
I'm
Can't wait to come to the States.
Hit,
It's fun.
hit him right in the FE. And then
Wait,
and then-
Joe, did you just click on the link or did you copy that link?
I'm doing all kinds of stuff.
Just click the link and it should,
Yeah.
it should open up.
What an SE response.
fuck.
Hey.
Oh, hey, that works.
He's in.
Yes, my dude.
He's in.
Yes.
He's in. Son of a bitch.
Hey, man. Hey, we got it. We got him, boys.
Got him. Got him. Got him.
Cool.
Is he there?
Maybe because he's still on the phone with Leon. His audio isn't.
Yeah, send him
It's
a
on his
message in
iPhone.
the chat. I actually hung up on the thing.
Oh, right. You might have to click. Because you have to click join with video and audio.
Yeah,
or
and join with
something.
audio.
So it might be that. Might be
Yeah.
that.
Hey, can you hear us?
Hey. Oh no, we can't hear him. No.
Send it a
problem.
fucking thing in the chat.
Hello?
I'm back.
Yes.
Hey.
We got him,
Look
boys.
at that t-shirt.
Yes.
Look at that t-shirt.
Hey, man.